Good morning. We are out in a place called the Payable Gap. This is a really beautiful place, and it's also sacred Native American ground. And we're just starting our next phase of training. So far, you've seen me handling the bird, weighing the bird, having the bird jump to the glove, introduce the bird to its lure, which is basically this. It's what it is. It's a leather pigeon. And this is the bird's toy that the bird gets to chase and play with. And we start off initially by garnishing the lure with a goodie for him. This is a little bit of meat that, and this is not just meat. This is actually quail breast, and we have to feed them a more complete diet. So we don't just buy hamburger at the grocery store. That would be very wrong. And I just tie a little piece of meat onto the lure for our little friend. Now I've already got the crayons reeled out, and it's off that direction. We do everything in steps, and you have to be a little bit patient. There's no hurry. And a lot of falconers, they want to get their bird out and they want to get it hunting immediately. And some falconers will brag that they can take a bird and have it hunting in a week, 10 days. And that's really probably not the best way to go. We want to make sure that the bird is trained properly, so it's just step by step, precept upon precept, and to make sure that the animals understand what they're doing and what we expect from them and what they expect from us. Now, we're in this brand new place. So far, all the training's been at my home, and what we look for here as a new place is we need an open area where there's perches we can set the bird on, and an area that the bird can fly that won't get tangled. And this gravel parking lot works really well for that. I do have closer places here in Cedar City to exercise my bird. This is 15 miles from home, but part of this is to get the bird used to driving in the car. And so at this point, we'll come out here and go through its training. Now, next thing that we're going to do, and this is very important, we've got to get them used to their equipment. And what this is a transmitter. This is a radio tracking device. It's GPS. And so now it's time to put this on the bird, and this just clips on. You just kind of push the little prongs together and slide into a clip, and it spreads. And this just goes on the bird as a temporary thing in case the bird ends up flying off someplace and we can't see it. We're able to track the bird down. But at this point in time, we don't need this because the bird's going to still be on the crayons, but we do want to get the bird used to this. So while we're still in the initial beginning stages of training, we want to introduce the bird to the crayons, to the GPS. And our little friend here, hey Piper, hey my baby, come on sweetie. And that's his baby call that says he really wants to get going. And we're going to put the transmitter on him, which is right here. There we go. Did we get it in right? Looks like we got it in right. Okay. And so now what we have is, that's a new piece of equipment. Now, when you're working with these animals, it's really important to understand everything new is something they have to think about. And so the behavior kind of deteriorates a little bit. And so when we were exercising the bird in my yard, that's great. The bird got used to the yard and all the activities and things around the yard. But when we bring the bird out here, this is a different place, so the bird has to kind of figure out what all this is. And we have potential for strangers to walk up and interrupt us. And now we've got the transmitter on the bird, and of course that's new, so he doesn't understand what that is. And so everything is new, and we have to be a little bit patient, but we want to introduce these new things just a little at a time. Here, Piper. I know, you want to go play, huh, baby boy?
Is it okay if I'm right here by this post?
Yeah, I think you're okay. There's a lot to look at, huh? A lot to look at with my baby boy. Good boy. There he goes. Now he's got his little goodie. And with the lure no longer has anything on it, now it's time to approach him and let him come up to the glove for his breakfast. There's my boy. Oh no. Hey, your breakfast is here. So many interesting things to look at, huh, Piper? I don't know. So much to look at. Such a distraction. Such a good boy. Now, when we're watching our bird, I can tell you right now that he's a little overweight. He's not terribly hungry. If he was hungrier, then he'd be eating quicker and not letting everything distract him. We have a couple of people on bicycles over there, and that's caught his eye. And this is a whole new place. So this is really, really interesting to him, and he's trying to figure out what's around him. And so that's why it's extremely important to get them acclimated to all sorts of things really early in the training, so that you don't have a bird that works one location well and you take it to a new place and the bird flies away because it's completely distracted and doesn't understand. So it's a Piper. So the more we can acclimate them to, while they're still safe on the crayons, and this crayons is going to come off in the next couple of days. There's so many distractions, huh? Okay. There's my boy. Good boy. Good Piper. You can see, obviously, the lure train's working well. He loves his toy, and so that's pretty exciting to him. Is that your favorite toy? Is that your favorite toy? Come here. That's my baby. What a good little boy. Let's turn you around. There we go. Okay, now you're happy. Ready? There you go. Good boy. Good Piper. You know, honestly, I don't know why people rush training. I don't know why people don't enjoy this part. He's very, very cute. He's entertaining, and it's really fun to watch the progress day after day after day get a little better and a little better. Ready? Good boy. Can we do it one more time?
He's coming.
And as you see, his lure training is almost over. Right now it's getting hard to be able to get away from him. before he's all on the wing and coming to me. And before he finishes his breakfast, I want to make sure that he's already clipped to the glove, that the lure is picked up, the leash is released. Yes, you've been a good boy. I know, you're being a noisy little baby. Yes, you are. Okay. There we go. Well, I think we've had a very successful training session with little Piper. The lures, the creance here will come off very, very soon, and he'll be flying free. And so we're very excited about that. And then our next stage of training takes off where he's flying free, and not only does he come to the lure, I'll swing the lure out of the way, make him miss, and have him come around a second time. And so that's called stooping to the lure. And we'll have a lot of fun doing that. And the transmitter hasn't seemed to bother him in the least, which is a very good thing for us. And let's go ahead and take it off here, Piper, shall we? Yes, you're just going to wiggle around a little bit. Says you're playing with my tail. I don't like people playing with my tail. No. Very, very good. Good Piper. What a good baby.
Done for the day.
All done. Get him packed up and head for home. Then get him put out, let him have a bath pan, and let him relax for a while. There's my baby. Yes, you are. You're ready. There's my pretty boy. Okay, sweetie. We'll do it one more time. I know this seems like a lot of repetition, and it is, but we're building up a routine where this new young falcon knows that when that lure comes out, his breakfast is there, and when also when he removes the food from the lure, he knows that if he comes up to my glove, then he gets more breakfast. Yes, he does. And so he's been a very, very good student. He's learning very well. I'm very pleased with his progress. And I think tomorrow's going to be the day. I think tomorrow's when we're going to let him fly free for the very first time. Yes, we will. We'll let you fly free for the first time. I know. I know. You talk, huh, sweetie? Okay. Isn't that wonderful? There we go. Yes. He had a good breakfast. Though he always wants more.
Since age 12 with a bird on his arm, Martin has captivated audiences sharing his knowledge and experience of his wildlife friends. He has been providing wildlife and environmental programs throughout the western United States to schools, scouts, and community groups for over 50 years. Please visit our sites to learn more and contact us to book an event or outing.
We're out at our little practice site, and we're going to start off with our little prairie falcon, Piper, and he's all excited to go. So let's bring him out. I know, you're so excited, little boy. Give me here. In fact, we need to put a little food on this. Now, unfortunately, sit here for just another minute, Piper. Unfortunately, we've missed a couple of days, or about 3 days of training, and because of that, it has set us back. In fact, I tell everybody, if you miss a day, it puts you back a week, and if you miss a week, it puts you back a month in the training processes. So it's very important to do things every day like you're supposed to in order to get these guys working properly. And because we've missed a day, we have to go back to what we did a few days ago, which is I know, Piper, you're so excited. Oh my gosh, you're acting like you're ready to go. And so we had him free flying. There we go. We had him free flying, but because we've missed a couple of days, we're going to go back to the crayons just to make sure that he hasn't forgotten his lessons. What's over there? It's so interesting. Good boy. Well, it looks like he remembers his lessons. Okay. He's responding wonderfully. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of that, shall we? And we're going to call him to the glove. Now the nice thing about calling him to the glove is we don't have to worry about calling him across a flat cleared surface, so we're going to call him off that direction. Okay, there's a first free flight for you. That's what it's like.
So is that it for today?
Okay, that's it for the day. Let me come over and talk a little bit. And we can kind of explain things. That is kind of the normal progression. Now, if we don't have any more interruptions and we could just keep working every single day, then Piper will continue to progress. And so yes, I know, you want more. He'll continue to progress and very, very quickly we'll be out in the middle of the field, he'll leave the glove and he'll fly off and gain altitude. He'll go thousands of feet in the sky. He will dive at 200 miles an hour, but the point that everybody has to realize, it's a process. So we start off very simply with the bird just getting used to the hood, getting used to sitting on the glove, getting used to being fed, getting used to coming out to a new environment, and it's just one step upon another step upon another step. It all builds until these guys are flying free and hunting like a wild falcon. I know, you said I didn't get enough breakfast, but you did.